Appendicitis.
Yeah.
Okay. We're at the end in Parshat Beshallach, and towards the end, Tezayin, Aleph Beis Gimel Daled Hey Vav Zayin Ches. Tezayin. This is basically Parshat Samon.
Somebody came to the clinic and told me, don't forget, Parshat. Yeah. So it's starting Sunday. I told him Saturday Rabbi said to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, go to Daven and go to work.
No, he said you can't say it non-stop.
Okay.
You have to say it for non-stop.
Tes Zayin Posek Aleph. It's in Parshas Beshallach. It's the second posek in Chamishi. The second posek in Chamishi. Peretz Yavet. Second posek in Chamishi. Vayisu me'elim vayivoyu kol adas b'nei Yisrael al midbar sin asher ben elim uvein sinai b'chamishi osiyem l'chedesh hasheni b'tzeisam me'eretz Mitzrayim. So 30 days after going to Mitzrayim, they're midbar sin. Rashi. This is not the real. This is not. We're going to focus on Pasuk Vav Zayin Ches, but just a few things that are negeya. Sparash Hayom Shalchanizul Fishaboy Vayom Kol Tzacharora Sheitziu Mitzrayim Hutzar Chulamon Lamadna Shachol Mishiore Habotzak Oy Mishiore Hamatzah. They took the Shiore Hamatzah Misharois Mitzrus Al Shechma Mitzad Tzibul Mitzvah. So they took the extra matzah. They also took dough out of Mitzrayim. So both, they had Shiori Botzak and Shiori Matzah. Shishim va'achas su'udais. They ate 61 su'udais. V'yord lahemam b'shisha osa b'iyur v'yoyim rishim b'shabas oya kedisa b'mesech Shabbos. This was on a Sunday.
Shishim v'achas, meaning if you eat 2 meals a day.
Yeah.
So from Mitzvah Mitzrayim. From the
Tezvav Nisan till Tezvav Iyur, and that day was on a Sunday.
30 days, so 61.
Yeah.
Or 61, not 60.
Because, no. Because
it started in the morning.
Yeah.
No, when they went, it says bed somebody in the morning.
Yeah, so that was one.
At night they went out. In the morning they got them on. Right.
Mm-hmm.
The month starting the day, right? They went out.
That's what we're gonna say. Yeah.
Right.
So there was 30. It's really 31 days.
Oh.
From Tezvav to Tezvav. It depends if it's a Molay. Of course, it probably was a Molay. So you had 31 days. So one day they already had the Suda the night before, so that's probably why it's 61.
How could be one matzah enough for so long?
Maybe it was they
bite like a small piece, like
maybe it was a nes, it was a brach in the Bnei Me'ayim, maybe I don't know.
They did need to eat every day twice.
They ate.
They took enough matzah for Saison Sudas.
Oh, yeah, but they were in a rush.
Time to bake the matzah, that means they didn't took enough.
No, the matzah that they ate, they baked. The matzah in the morning that they took with them, the dough that they took in the morning.
They put it on
right, but there were two things they took. They took shiori botzak and they took shiori matzah.
That's right.
Okay, so maybe they took a lot. That's the other pshat you could say.
Okay.
Didn't complain.
We don't say nothing about the drink. What they drink for 60 days.
Vice is that at this point water was available.
But how they have water for 30 days? They took water with them?
Well, it says already before that it was the and and so that was 3 days into the journey. Could be
the first 3 days they took mine with them.
Yeah, could be they took canteens of mine with them. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Very good. So Vayeloinu kol adas b'nei Yisrael al Moshe v'alaram b'midbar. Vayomru aleim b'nei Yisrael mi item museinu v'yad Hashem be'eretz Mitzrayim b'shiftenu al sir ha'bosor b'ochlenu lechem l'soiver. We sat on a sir habosar. We sat on a pot full of meat. We had good meat to eat. Yeah. We had a cholent pot. We have a good cholent pot, and we ate lechem l'soiva. Okay,
now they don't call it matzah. Now they call it lechem.
Yeah, it's a some oisonu el amidbar azel hamas es kol hakol hazel barov. See the complaining. Vayomer Hashem al Moshe, hine nimamter lochem lechem min hashamoyim, yotzam v'loktet vayem b'yem l'man anatzana yelach b'serosim loy. That I'm going to give them mon, and there's also going to be a test involved to see that they're going to keep the halachas of the mon.
The man will be every day, not
every day. Besides Shabbos, okay. So Moshe Rabbeinu turned to the Yidden, and they said, "Erev yedaitem ki Hashem hoitzi eschem eretz Mitzrayim." In the Erev there'll be a yediyah that the Eibishter took out of Mitzrayim. Uvoiker in the morning, uriisem es kvoid Hashem, v'shoma es kloneseichem al Hashem, v'nachnu mo kisalinu aleinu. That's what they said. Vayomer Moshe b'seis Hashem lachem ba'erev basar lechel. V'lechem ba'boiker l'zboya b'shma Hashem al tistan l'naisechem asher atam alinu malov v'nachnu mo lo aleinu t'lasechem ki al Hashem. Okay. Let's look at Rashi and Pasuk. Hey Vav Zayin Ches. So there's two Rashi Dika that we want to look at right now. Boiker Isim and Zion. Loi ala kovid. Shenemar hine kvoid Hashem nida ba'omer. And it was said later that it will be kvoid Hashem nida. That's not what he's talking. Elo kach omer lahem. Erev yedaitem. If you're going to look be'erev, you're going to know ke yechoilis b'yode litem tavasche, that the Eibush has the yechoilis to give you a taiva. Bosa yitin. Achloi v'ponim yiris yitnen alachem. It's not going to be v'ponim yiris. Ki shaloika hoigen she'altem loisa. You was shaloika hoigen that you asked for meat. Umikeres malaya. It was shaloika hoigen, number one. And number two is Mikeres Malaya. Yeah. And why? Because number one, he says Shaloika Hoigen because you could live without meat. And number two, Mikeres Malaya, as Elisha will say soon, that they had a lot of behemoths. So they could check their own behemoths. Yiridos alaboike tiru es kvoid urponav. Sheyirid lachem derechiba. That's the pshat.
Shevet did not eat any of the animals.
That's why they had a lot of animals. Chatzi, living and good.
Right.
But boike shesh. That's why they had a lot of behemoths.
They got filled
from the mountain. The boike shesh us lachine. V'tal malamayla, tal malamato, kemunach bekufsa. That all shows how the derech hiba that the Eibush gave it to the Yid. Okay, next pasuk, next big Rashi. It says in pasuk Ches, basar lechel v'loy l'soiva. The basar, it says the pasuk says basar is lechem v'lechem lizboya. Why is it by basar it says lechel and by lechem it says lizboya? So Rashi Femfet, Lim the Torah derech eretz she'en oichlen basar l'soiva. Torah teaches you derech eretz, that when you eat bread and things that are necessary in order to live, you eat it l'soiva. But when you eat things like geschmack that are delicious, like meat, like chocolate, then you don't eat it l'soiva. You eat a piece and not l'soiva. Marojana, yeah. So you eat it. But lechem you eat l'soiva. But basar, that's why the Torah says, "V'seis Hashem lachem basar lechem lechel." Basar is only lechem, and lechem is lizboya. Maro lo'idid lechem ba'boiker basar ba'erev v'shalechem shalok hoigen she'ev sheladam alalechem. But basar shalok hoigen shahar b'veimes oilam v'oit she'ev shelam b'lo basar lefikich nas lam b'shas Torah shalok hoigen.
One of the girls did not eat meat all this year and a half.
All right, never.
No, but she said, I'm not going to eat meat. Yes. In the Chevy. She ate,
thought-
what is it called? They give her pita. That's it. You're starving, and they give you meat, and you don't, you can't eat.
Unbelievable.
All this stuff.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Not she's come from a former house or something. She took upon herself, and she was keeping it all this time.
Unbelievable.
They forced her to Machal Shabbos, to cook for them Shabbos. She said, Shabbos, I'm not working.
Unbelievable.
It's silly. She knows that they could shoot her, like, it was no weird story in Russia. You say something you should. She knew that they could shoot. No, I don't care.
Unbelievable. Before we start, Stam, it's the how does it? It's a Stam Akvotz Kasher. Limda Torah Derech Eretz. Maybe why does it say that the Eibushter gave them Taka? The Mashal says it
In the morning,
that he gave them Bosar Lechem and Lechem. He gave them Lisboya because Lechem was Kohegim, so the Eibushter gave them plenty of Lechem. Basar was Shaloi Kohegim, so he gave them a little bit of Basar. Why can't Rashi answer that? I mean, it's like Rashi says a double thing. Once that Rashi already said that this was Kohegin and this was Shaloi Kohegin, why is it double Acher? One pshat negates the other pshat. If you're telling me that this was Kohegin and this is Shaloi Kohegin, so I understand. If this is Lechem is Kohegin, so he gave them plenty of Lechem. He gave them trucks and trucks full of Lechem. Mashenkin basar, they don't kill it without basar. So he gave each one 6 ounces of basar. You don't have to have a big steak that's 1.5 pounds.
That's not the story though. They got enough busted.
Oh, that's what the Rebbe says. So the Rebbe says a chapel, even that the Mashak says Shabshat. Then they got a lot of basar. It says in the next besides in Baloischa. They're over there, but never mind Baloischa. Look over here. It says later. It says Vayiba erev atala slov atachas amachana.
It's not short.
Ganze vergesst. You couldn't see anything. The chas is hamachnas. It verdeckt the ganze machna. Very good. That's what the Rebbe said. So in Rashi, Shamikra, Rashi said that couldn't be. Taka the Eibishter gave the Musa, and he said that this was Kohegin, this Shaloi Kohegin. You can't say that this is Lechem and this is Lizboya. Lechem, he gave them 1,000 trucks of Lechem, and Bosa, he gave them 6 ounces for a person. Because it was the Slavic events. Ayam, it's slov. Ayam. An unbelievable amount of slov. So therefore Rashi says, so you have to answer the Lashon HaPosek. But over here it says Lechem. And by Lechem it says Lizboya. And by Bosa it says Lechol. There's Linda Deure Derech Eretz. That the Eibishter, Moshe Rabbeinu was telling them that the Eibishter is Linda Derech Eretz. That when you eat, he's telling the Eden, they're going into the desert now. And he's teaching them derech eretz. He's teaching them a healthy way of living. The healthy way of living is, that's a healthy way of living. He just wanted to teach them.
Interesting. Slav considered as meat.
You're right.
It's an off.
That's a oif.
You know, but according to
It's
the it's not a meat.
Right.
And the Torah call it
Lagabe, yeah, exactly. Yeah, like the story of Beres Knife. It's a joke. It says, I don't remember the before or the after. He said is a raya that the chicken is not meat. It says by Avram Avinu, Vesa oif loy basar.
Off the Hebrew, off is
loy basar means you cut it. Vesa oif
he used the word.
Yeah.
The shin and the top.
Yeah. Loy basar. It's not basar. Oif is not basar. But here, Taki, you're right. That slov is called basar. So when tzach lagavi vos, lagavi basar b'cholov. This is v'lo shalash b'di b'chei leivimoy. So there is that by chickens it's not shayach. But mashenkin lagabi in general, when we talk about eating basar, so lagabi Shabbos and Yom Tov we have to be ma'anek with basar. So I guess it's a good point. Okay. The thing that bothers the Rebbe over here is that Rashi says twice the Zabazach. Twice Mamish the Zabazach. And the funny thing is, the second time he says it with a bigger arichas. Maro lohirid lechem. Maro. The Soshani Etzmazig and Alang Rashi. So both Rashis kamatz. And the crazy thing is that there's shinuyim from one to the other. Over here he says Harbe behem esoylam, and over there he says Mekeres Malaya. Mekeres Malaya, so all the Farshim say Rashi means because Harbe behem esoylam. So why? And so why you? So The bottom line is, why are we saying twice the same thing? And Rashi, so many details that Rashi is changing from one Rashi to the other. What is going on over here? What is going on over here? So
Which Rashi? Sorry.
the earlier Rashi is
Test to
no, the second one is Ches, and the earlier one is Zayin. Zayin Boikadis. So Rashi says the Boikadis and Kvod Hashem. Kvod Hashem doesn't mean the Kvod that says later that the Kvod Hashem was needed by honor. He said the Boikad, you'll see Kvod Hashem. The Abish smiled that this was Kahoig this was not Kahoig, and therefore this you get. So it's mamash a repeat, one Rashi and the other Rashi. It's a repeat, and not the Rashi changes a few things here and there. It's like appella. Yeah, it's a mamash appella. So the Rebbe says a lot of times in Rashi the Rebbe says it's about Chodesh Lamikra, it could get it right away. In this one, the Rebbe doesn't say, like, I guess in this one the Malamed has to help out a little bit. Yes. So the Rebbe says like this. The Rebbe says that there's a shaila that about Chodesh Lamikra would chap right away. Elamai, the answer is a little tricky. The shaila is that the posuk is very repetitive over here. Very, very repetitive. Vayomer Moshe ve'Aaron Akol Bnei Yisrael, and this is posuk Vav and Zayin, and posuk Ches is a repeat of what was already said before. Kamat Zel Bezach. Kam taka sometimes in Pshuta Shemikra we say there's a clown, there's a prat, but mamish you're repeating everything for nothing. The Torah is an extra pasuk for nothing, pashut. And the Nochdim is even a shinui. In the beginning it says Vayomer Moshe v'Aaron Akol Bnei Yisrael, and then it says Vayomer Moshe. Why is it that the first Amid is Vayomer Moshe v'Aaron, and then is Vayomer Moshe? Later, it's going to say Taka that Vayifna Midbar v'Kvod Hashem Nira B'Aaron. There was Taka. The Eibush themselves spoke, but over here, Moshe v'Aaron speak, and then Moshe speaks. And l'chayda they say over the Zel Bezach. The only thing is, in the first time it says Erev and Boiker, it doesn't say that it's Basar v'Lechem. So why can't the pastor, the Bachatchila, tell them? Rashi Taka said it. When they say Erev, they meant Erev, the Eibush is going to give you slov, and Boiker, the Eibush is going to give you Lechem. And Rashi Taka always get touched. That's what they meant. And if the Torah wanted to always touch, so the Torah could have said, Moshe v'Aaron Akol Bnei Yisrael, Erev, B'teis Hashem, Botzar, whatever. The Torah repeats itself twice. What's going on in Pshat? Shtetzal, it can be Remozah, it can be Halacha, but in Pshat, why would the Torah repeat itself? So the Rebbe says, Azoy, there's two things. There is providing the Jews what they need. And then there is Dan Hoge, not just providing them what they need, but, just like a father's machanach his children. There is, when your child asks you for something, there's always two parts to it. There's what the child taka needs. And sometimes you say, taka, you're right, you need this, but you have to figure out how to tell it to me with derech eretz, right? So there's two things. There's what you need. Oh, you need it. We need to get your new pair of shoes. We need it. You need a new cell phone. Okay, you need it. But I'm not happy the way you asked it. You have to learn a little derech eretz, right? So there's two things. There is the anhog of Klal Yisrael, and then there is the yidna kvetching over here. They kvetched about this, they kvetched about Eloinu. So there is the anhog of Klal Yisrael, and then there's the tzirachim of Klal Yisrael. And when we talk about the anhog of Klal Yisrael, the Eibishter said, "Who Moshe Aaron Asher Tziva Hashem Leitzim Mitzrayim." The Eibishter said that Tziva to take them out of Mitzrayim is Moshe be'Aaron. A lot of tzivuim in the Torah comes to Moshe and Aaron together. When it comes to anhog of Bnei Yisrael, Moshe and Aaron have both a certain koyach together. But when it comes to be a shepherd, who's responsible for Bnei Yisrael? Moshe Rabbeinu. And Mr. Takanashi says that Beresh Miriam was through Miriam, and Aaron was the schus of Anan Yaakov. Apart when they passed away, Chozer b'schus shel Moshe. And even b'shas they were there. Really, it's all from Moshe. Who is making sure that you didn't have tzarachim? Moshe Rabbeinu. And therefore, there's two nekudas over here. First, we're dealing about first, we're talking to them. The Eibishter, they're kvetching. They're kvetching. So the Eibishter said that Moshe and Aaron should answer the kvetch. First, they should answer the kvetch. That's why we're not talking about Basar Alechem. when someone has kvetches, a tiny.
Stop going for
What does it?
Listen, stop going.
So let's not talk about
Now
what you
I
asked
hear-
for.
Now I want to
If
hear
your
what
son is draining you a cup and asking my chutzpah take away for a
Stop
so first you're not going to talk about the shoes. Right?
Right.
So you're not going to talk about the shoes right now. Now let's talk about. So the first thing was that Moshe Ba'anim turned to the Eden and said that you complained. You had tlunas to the Eibishter. Let's deal with you tlunas. Let's forget. Because sometimes when a person's kvetching, it's not about what they're saying. It's their kvetching. Sometimes a person comes to with molly tinus. It's not about this and that. It's just because they're molly tinus kedimai. So first let's deal with your tinus. Then let's deal about, okay, you need something to eat. Boss sort of alech. When Moshe and talk, they don't talk about boss of alech. They're talking about the Yidden are complaining, and they're going to deal with two psukim, one about one complaint and one the other complaint. The Rebbe says there's a dove of Eipuchim when the Yidden are complaining to the Eibishter. It's the worst thing. Fetching the Eibishter just did 10 makis.
After you see all the makos.
So it's a big chutzpah. It's a big chutzpah. It's a matzav that's not good. Tzad Sheni, it's the biggest compliment. The Yidden are, when they need something, who are they talking to? The Rabban Shalom. You can look at it in two ways. Therefore, it's two psukim. There's two nekudas. This, and where is it nikir that the Shaloika Hogan is nikir in the bossa? What did they stack up? You have a keres malaya. What did they stack up? So here is nikir that it's tam tluna. Where is nikir the compliment that the Maila B'nai Yisrael, that they have a munim b'tochen Hashem, that if they need something, who are they going to? They're going to the Rabban Shalom. So that's nikir in the lechem. They need to eat. That's a legit thing. So therefore, the first thing they answered was about never mind what you need. Let's talk about your kvetching. So the first thing is Vayem Moshe V'Aaron B'nai Yisrael Erev Yadaitem Ki Hashem Hoitzi Eschem Eretz Mitzrayim. That you have kvetches is a chison. Who are you talking to? You're talking to the Eibishter. So when the Eibishter is going to make a miracle that the slov is going to come be'erev, you will know that you did the wrong thing by kvetching against the Eibishter. Because the Eibishter, from this nis, the Eibishter will make another nes, which will be nikeh, the koyach and the gevur of the Eibishter. Elamite is going to be be'erev. Why be'erev? Because be'erev is because it's shaloika hoigen, therefore it's going to be be'erev. And be'boiker is ponimiidis. The sun shines in the morning. So lagabe boiker isim is kvoid Hashem b'shomes tenaluna seichem. It's not sarcastic.
Not fetching.
It's b'shomes tenaluna seichem. The Eibishter listened. We had a tluna that you're hungry and you need bread. The Eibishter is listening to that. We're nothing. But the complaint is klapping the Eibishter, and you're right that the Eibishter has to provide a yid with food. So that was lakabi your kvetching. They said there's one thing that you said that was not good, and one thing that was good, and that's why it's split into two psukim. Ad kan, we're talking about the kvetching. So they said we want you to know that the kvetching about meat expresses a not good meat. What are you kvetching against the Eibishter? So the Eibishter is going to make a nes taket to give it to you, but it's not going to be beponim meidus. They'll show you that the Eibishter has. Don't say the Eibishter doesn't have the yecholos to do it. The Eibishter has the yecholos to do it, but it was the wrong thing. And baboike beponim meidus, the Eibishter is going to give you the bread because that taket was a maila that they're shown by kloneseichen as a compliment that the Eibishter listens. That the yid turns only to the Eibishter when he needs something. Adkan. The second time is takazoi. They need food. Vayom and Moshe. Well, here's already all. Moshe is called Roya Yisrael. He's a shepherd of the Eden. Kashayisa Oymen Esayonik. Moshe is called the Roya Yisrael. He's a shepherd. So Moshe says that you should know that you're going to have bossa and you're going to have lechem. The lechem and the bossa was not so important. Lechem bossa. It was important to answer that taina, the kvetching. Now it was important to talk about that they're going to have bossa and they're going to have lechem. And therefore, the shinui Rashi is really tolui in the beginning when we're talking about the kvetching. So it's a chutzpah because mekeres malaya. You have food in your stomach. You're asking for flesh. You have, and later we talk about the tzrochim. Behemoths arba loylan. What do you mean? Here's your behemoths. So when you're talking about the tzrochim, so what do you mean? You have hundreds of pounds of meat right here. We're talking about the chutzpah. We're talking about the keres malaya. Anyway, all the shinui merasha really goes, but that's the bottom line. That really there was two issues. There's the anhog of the Yidden and the tzrochim of the Yidden. In the anhog of the Yidden, Moshe and Aaron are both in charge. And they said one taina is a good one. You turn to the Eibishter when you need something. The other taina was a chutzpah. And therefore, they answered that. And then Moshe Rabbeinu is talking about taka, what the Yidden need, and he spoke to them about what they need.
Rabbi sees the Rashi in the wording.
So, he sees that that's why.
There's an
arichus in this. And this is in the close and akuda. There is Alter Rebbe and Likkutei Torah. The Alter Rebbe talks about the slov. The slov. The shulchan. Matana. The shulchan. And balma. So we need a 10? Okay, well, Alon, אתה יכול לחזור בעוד 5 דקות? צריך מניין, בעוד 5 דקות, אתה יכול לבוא? תודה. Anyway, bekitzer. What's a slov? The slov are very fat birds, and the problem is they have very small wings, and they
don't fly.
It's very hard for them to fly.
They don't fly,
and they fly, and they get very tired. So they're stuck in a place. So they were there, and they were able to catch them. They can't fly away easily. Rashi says that the slov here is a very fat bird, a very, very fat bird.
Slov.
Yeah. Like in the song that they have in one of the songs of Shabbos, Slovedogim. Yeah? Barburim Slovedogim. So the slov, it's like the Alter Rebbe is the din of Shemen, and Shemen is very fat, and Shemen is the din of Chochmah. So the Rebbe says the Nekuda is like this. That when I eat, what's Lechem Shabbat Torah, what's Basa Shabbat Torah, Nimis Torah, especially Shemen, Shuman. When a Yid says that he needs to have Lechem, that's Kohigen. When a Yid says that he wants to have Nimis Torah, why are you saying that Shaloi Kohigen? Because the Darge of Moshe Rabbeinu in his generation was really to have Riyah and Alakus, not to bring it down in a way of Avon and Vasog and Chochmah. Higher than Chochmah. Moshe Rabbeinu was the union of Riyah and Alakus, even higher than Chochmah. Shemen is the union of Chochmah. Riyah is even higher than that. It's higher than Chochmah. The Eibishter had kindness that how come they want to bring down Lechem is Kohoigen. But Bosor, Shomein, the Shaloi Kohoigen for this generation, which is a Dor Deya, Boiker Ri'isem, the union of Ri'iyah and Alakus is good enough. You don't have to bring it down to the level of Chochmah. That
They should have only need.
No, that the Pnimis Torah shouldn't have to come down. That's why Lechem has a gvul. I see the Seifo because Limud Anigla, there's Shisha Mesechtes, there's the amount of prices. Pnimis Torah there's Zain Soif. Elamai, the Taina was you're complaining that you want to bring it down to Basa Shomein, which is the of Shem and Chochmah. It can be hard. You're a Doradeya. You don't have to bring down in Shemen. You don't have to bring down Pnimis Torah in Hasoga. You could have it in the union of Re'iyah, and that would be good enough. So the Rebbe says, if that's Taka the Taina, so you could say that Taka for the Yidin in the Midbar, it was Shaloi Kahoigen. But for a Yid today, it's Kahoigen. It is Kahoigen. Then for the Dordeya, that was the Moshe Rabbeinu, they were expected to have Bechinas Re'iyah, and they don't need it to bring it down to Bechinas Shemen Shebachochem. But the Zman Hazeh, we need it. We dafke need the Shemen. I won't even sign with a story. Last night, Zorach calls me last night. He says, you know my friend Sebastian Agoy? He says Sebastian has leukemia. Well, I said, Nabach. He says it was getting very bad. The numbers are going very bad. Huh? Oh, we have it upstairs.
Not the Douglas Guns.
Okay, well, good. We're almost on the minute.
So, what do you want?
She decided to go with the Gardel?
I'm distracted for too long.
Okay. And so he said that, you know my friend Sebastian? Sebastian had leukemia. That's all, Nabach. It's a goy.
That's him.
Huh?
That's him.
That's a goy, exactly. He says, no.
You know what he's talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I said, no. So what are you telling me? He says, I told him we're going to go to the oil and we're going to daven. He says, this week.
Okay.
He drove
He drove to go, yeah. And then he says it was Sunday, Monday, he took him to the oil. And then the next day or the day after, he went back to the hospital to check his blood. They said it's a miracle. They don't see his blood is good. So I said, I can't believe it. So it's a goy, you have to teach him Sheva Mitzvah B'nai If a goy has a nest, the goy has to serve the Rebbeinu Shalom. He has to do Sheva Mitzvah. Okay, fine. I'm going to call him tomorrow. This was last night. He said, I'm going to call him tomorrow. He said, now you have a story. I told him I have to tell the kids a story for the kids. You tell the story to the kids. But, so I was thinking, the Gemara Zog, that there was two yeshivas, Abaye and Rava. Allah is always like Rava besides Bar and Miyal Kegam. The Gemara also says another place that in Rava's Bay's yeshiva, they would be biting on bones. Mashenkin and the yeshiva of Rava, they were eating fat meat. Which Nahainu Rashi says because there was a lot of Svaras and Populim. So I was thinking, that's a difference. A goy goes to Tzaddik, Zanes. It's okay. It's almost salvation. But a Yid, a Chosid from a Rebbe, the Ikid is in the Torah. The Torah, that's where is the juicy stuff. The boss of Shoman is in the Torah from Matzadik. That's the boss of Shoman. Okay, the Ikid is, we should be the Rebbe says, a more ridiculous thing. This is not in the Mugadik Sicha. And Rashi says that they got the mon on Sunday. Snooze to the slov they got be'erev. Which erev? Motzei Shabbos. But it says bein arbayim. So it's mashma that it could have even come down on Shabbos. So why did they get the slov? So either the pshat is they got it for Shalosh Rudas, or they got the slov from Malava Malk.
Right, this is the
either they
Suda Ravi,
or the Shlushi or the Suda Ravis. So we see the Gewalt of the slov that it came ben Arbayim and Shabbos Kodesh was taken. It was taken from Mantor. It was already more, but so they already had the Hilchah Shabbos. But if the Eibishter gave it to them, the Eibishter whatever the halachas wasn't yet kavua from Mantor. The same Eibishter that said that Shkip Shabbos said that now they should collect the slov. But so we see a Gaval that the slov came on Shabbos, and the Rebbe says that we don't find in Rashi Pshuta Shamikra, other Mefarshim say that the slov stopped. In Rashi never says that the slov stopped.
Not only it continues.
Can sign in Rashi that the Yidden had it every day. The Rebbe said we don't see in Rashi that it ever stopped.
Like the man.
Yeah.
Non-stop, it says.
So it was maybe always be'erif. If it came, it only came be'erif. But still, a component, it's interesting that it came for Shalosh Rudas, it came for Malava Malk at the slow.
Yeah.
Maybe shall help him. We should have.
I was to chef chickens, not to Shabbos.
Yeah.
What?
He's circulation.
He's a fleishik from Malak. First of all, the Gemara is the story. The story talks about
you need to eat chamin and Motzei Shabbos.
But in the same Gemara, it says a story about one of the Moiron. They used to check eglet.
Chicken for
eglet. But here the emes is this is Aroga for Rabbi Shaila. This is the Raya Taka from the Slov. The Rebbe says that the slov came ben arbaim, oder mit gegessen auf Shalosh Udas, oder mit gegessen auf Amalav Malka.
They have some to eat Beshallach after onion and eggs and fish. Something.
No, those that do onion eggs is for Shabbos morning. I'm a tzvibel Shabbos morning.
It's not the
No. I'm a tzvibel, yeah. It's a lot of people.
That's Shabbos morning.
Shabbos morning.
Leftovers.
Maybe that we should have the Bosel Shabbat the Lech Shabbat we should feel the Shubba Shabbat
To not to building one.
Shkoyer Godel for joining us.
You're knocking up the guy and gets, you know.
What a funny thing. A guy goes to the oil and
I think it's not him. Look at Trump.
Donald Trump sent somebody big from the White House to say thank you.
Oh, yeah?
And the first person invited to the White House after he became president is Bibi Netanyahu.
Beshallach help him. Should be good things.
I hope he does the pressure.
He sent somebody to you?
Yeah. Somebody from the White House.
Shkoyer for joining